The 50 show presented by Book It Sports. Zach Zook sitting in the host chair today.
Look at
alongside
you over
Tony
there.
Weber. We got Nick Y'all out in Reno and TJ Weber. Man, he just blew off the show today. What's the deal with that? Nick, I understand that you were with him.
Yeah. So here, they decided to come down to Reno. We have a good time out Friday night. I show them around the town, and then I go down to Tahoe with them yesterday. Had a good night. I mean, I'm up and at them. I drove an hour and 15 minutes back here through the mountains and the snow and the Avalon, just hogging it down, and made it back right on time. 8 o'clock. Here I am.
You were sure to let me know that you beat me to into the virtual studio. So
I mean, that's how I do it. And TJ's fast asleep. Here I am getting up at 6 a.m., scraping off my car in the 15-degree weather.
Ooh.
Oh no, he's like, I'll go skiing today. We'll just take this week off. I mean, his picks are so bad, he has now abandoned the show, and I can just rip into him here as much as I want because he can't defend himself, which makes it even better. So while he's off gallivanting on the mountains with all the snow bunnies, we can actually be here putting in the work for the football show.
The poor guy's not here to defend
he's just
himself.
catching ricochet shots left and right.
No, I tell you what, Nick, the dedication, though, 6 o'clock in the morning, driving through the mountains. Hats off to you, buddy. Good job. Way to go.
I tell you what, that was one of the most beautiful sunrise I've ever seen over the mountains in Tahoe there with all the snow. Really, really nice scenery for the drive-in.
Do you have a nice cup of coffee there ready to go during that scenery?
No, I don't drink.
He's not a coffee guy.
Oh my, that would have been a coffee commercial.
Yeah. Neither am I. That's one thing I like about Nick. So we got week 15 in the NFL. We've already played 3 games. I don't know do we want to recap Thursday and Saturday real quick here to kind of kick off the show.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, Tony, I know that you had the worst of beats last weekend. I didn't know if you just wanted to spend like maybe 1 or 2 minutes talking about how much of your fault it was or how much you forgot with the safety situation we had last Sunday.
Zook, I got to tell you, it's amazing. I have a great ability, and that's why I have a low stress level. I have a great ability of taking stuff. That's a clean word.
Yeah, there you go.
That doesn't really work well for me. That's what I've been screwed on. I can slide it aside, and I really get it out of my mind. Okay. But that safety, I've had some bad beats in my life, a lot of them, but this thing going back and forth and losing that by 2, I had a push. This is a great story. I had a parlay +3. So all day I was going to win the parlay. I was looking good the whole time. Ended up being just a field goal game. I had the over already and the push was ready to happen.
Yeah, you're fine.
It did happen. Except there's 2 seconds left on the clock. They kick the football, and these guys start lateraling back and forth, and they keep going backwards and backwards and backwards. And all of a sudden, he throws out of the back of the end zone, and I see that ref go like this, and I go, I am screwed. This game's 45 now to 39. I'm going to lose both sides. So this is a miraculous thing. I get a text from FanDuel, DraftKings. I'll say all this publicly. FanDuel texts me, and they say, anybody that got screwed over by this, we're going to give you a credit, da-da-da-da-da. So I go to DraftKings, who I'm doing business with, right? So I said, DraftKings, you got one chance. You make this good, or we're done. I'm jumping over to another house. What happened? I get an email and a real nice credit in my account.
There you go.
There you go, Big Web.
I wonder how many credits they had to give out because of that. DraftKings, who was not expecting, obviously, to just give everybody a charitable donation for their bets not hitting, then had to give out a bunch of credits because everybody was like, well, your competitor's doing this, and I can just as easily go online sports bet over on the other side.
I'm just going to say this, ladies and gentlemen. If you squawk enough about it, right, Jay? You squawk enough about it, you might get something done.
FanDuel's been doing that, giving the refunds on the bad beats. So that was smart to go in there with DraftKings and be like, hey, FanDuel's doing it, so are you going to do it? Even though you can't bet on FanDuel in Illinois. They don't know that.
Hey, don't say that.
Yeah, I wonder if they could have looked up like your account details and called your bluff on that.
They're like,
really?
Okay. You're in Illinois. We're not in Illinois, or FanDuel's not in Illinois. Just we are. So say fuck you. Yeah. Nice little bluff on your part there.
Yeah, I didn't know that though. But and TJ kind of lamented the game for you on the midweek show, but you weren't there, so I wanted to give you a chance to kind of give your thoughts on that. That's interesting that DraftKings gave you the credit on.
No,
it.
and I know you're waiting for a big old rant, me throwing stuff and knocking stuff off the wall.
We're
like
past
my
it.
son
We're on
does.
to week 15.
I'm past it, but it's turned into pay.
There you go. Well, you got your credit, so there's nothing to be mad about.
Not last. If you want to turn into Saturday now, I could tell you how.
Let's do it.
We got screwed yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I'll start with. I'm very frustrated that the Raiders were not able to cover for me on Thursday night. That was just embarrassing. You lose to the 4-9 Chargers. They're now 7-7. Chucky, I believe he's under 40% in December now. Nick, do you know that stat? Maybe you haven't seen it. I saw it floating around the old twitter.com. I think he's under 40% in December. It's like his record is right about 500 in each of the months for his coaching career. Then you get in December and he's just terrible. So to lose to the 4-9 Chargers, I don't know what the Raiders are going to do. I think we watched the Derek Carr era end on Thursday night with the pulled groin. Marcus Mariota comes in.
That's going to be a money question. Do you see his contract?
Derek Carr's contract?
No, Marcus Mariota. So if he starts the final 2 or 3 games of the season, he has a big money that gets added to his contract.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's
good
why.
agent there.
And he also, if he starts next season, he could end up having $25 million owed to him.
Wow. So, and they mentioned on the broadcast too that up until like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he wasn't even dressing. They had Peterman, I think, dressing as the backup.
Yeah, Peterman.
And I'm guessing that it was for that reason. It was a money situation. So, but regardless, it's felt like Gruden has been lukewarm at best on Derek Carr ever since he was hired. Remember, he inherited Derek Carr as his quarterback. The guy's a quarterback freaking whiz. He had like the quarterback film room at ESPN every year where he evaluated all the different prospects coming out. So I think he's going to want to get his own guy. I think he wanted Kyler Murray that year. He came out, just couldn't get him. So I think, and I don't think Mariota is going to be the answer either, but I do think that there's going to be a new quarterback in Vegas before too long. It's just, I think, a matter of how can they get there, because they are 7-7. The team's not terrible, so they're not going to be in great position to draft the guy. It's just, I don't know what they do, but I think that they are going to go a different direction with the quarterback. And then on Saturday, you had a couple of games. Did you guys, so tell me, since those games were on NFL Network, Nick and Big Web, did you guys watch those games or did you watch college football yesterday?
I watched a little both.
I watched both.
Yeah. No, I liked the pro. I liked both pro games yesterday, and they were really super fun games to watch. I mean, Buffalo, I just had a gut feeling with those guys going west. Tolly's Buffalo Bills. They got out there, and that was a pretty good get. They had 2 trips in 3 weeks to the West Coast or out west.
Yeah.
And got it done out there. And I was never really concerned that the Bills were going to cover the game. It was always about the over in that game. And I got that half. And then the second game, man, Aaron could have rolled more, but we got no scoring from Bridgewater for the over. It was like 21-3. They're on the half-yard line, and Bridgewater dives across the top, right? And I'm a proponent of that play. I don't want to go way wide or be in the shotgun when you're on the 6-inch yard line, but he dives over the top, and the defense knows it's coming, slaps the freaking ball out of his hand, get 0 points out of that, and we end up losing the over by 6 or whatever the hell it was. But that was a key score to keep the back and forth going. So betting wise, that was interesting little NFL concept there. And I also had Cincinnati, who I thought was going to roll, and they let Tulsa stay in the game. So fun day, but didn't get hurt, but just that one play.
I have that stat.
I think I was 2-3 in college yesterday too.
So the Raiders are now 5-13 in December and January regular season games since the start of 2017. That's a 278 win percentage.
Yeah, it's not.
I will
good.
say I did call that game that the Chargers win that one outright. So, and I'm the only one.
You and TJ.
I was on the Chargers.
I thought I was on was I on an island with the Raiders, because I thought TJ liked them too, but maybe not since they let him down.
I think we all had. I think we were all feeling the Chargers.
Yeah, except for
I got
me,
all 3 games.
Zook and Big Web took the Chargers.
Okay,
I took the Chargers.
Couldn't have been Zook. He was crying about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I took the Raiders on Thursday, but the Packers game too. What did that spread close at? Because it ended up being an 8-point game, and on CBS at least it was 8.5. So we lose that by a freaking half point. that just creams my corn.
I hit that one on the backdoor cover.
Yeah, not ideal. Up 21-3, just freaking rolling, and then they sleepwalk through the second half. But as we talk about
none of those games count.
yeah, I guess that's the good thing.
Yeah.
But as we move to, 3 weeks left in the regular season here. We already got some of the games played in week 15. We talked about the playoff picture a little bit on the midweek show, and the Packers with a win to yesterday and a Saints loss today. Then the Saints are going up against the Chiefs, so a very tough game for them. They would only have to win one of their next 2 games against the Titans and the Bears to lock up the 1 seed. So the playoff picture, I feel like, is coming into shape here because you had Tampa beat the Vikings last week. It feels like they're kind of effectively removed from the playoff picture right now. And with the 3 wild cards in the NFC, it feels like it's going to be the Seahawks, the Bucks, and the Cardinals. So in the AFC, I feel like it's a lot deeper. But who do you guys think are kind of the true contenders once we get into January?
Nick, what do you got?
Green Bay, I think we'll be right there in the mix, along with I want to see New Orleans in there, but I just don't know. Getting Drew Brees back next week, this is going to be or this week rather, this is going to be a really big test to determine what kind of team is New Orleans. They don't have Michael Thomas today, so can they get Alvin Kamara back in the fold? If they can do that with Drew Brees, I think they could certainly be a contender. It really just those veteran quarterbacks late in the season in the NFC. I don't really see Tampa Bay making too much a move. Seattle's defense to me is too much of a weakness to really let them get deep in the playoffs unless Jamal Adams just does everything himself. I don't see how they can make a deep playoff run just because their offense is so good, but once playoff time comes, you need both sides of the ball. You can't just be a one-dimensional team. I think that's both what Seattle and Tampa Bay are. Tampa Bay defense, Seattle offense. Put those two together, boom, you got a Super Bowl contender there. But I think the Packers get by some of their defensive woes just on the back of Aaron Rodgers, and I think whatever is lacking in Drew Brees' arm at quarterback can be made up with Alvin Kamara and then that stud defense, especially in the red zone. So I'm looking at New Orleans and Green Bay as far as the NFC goes. Were we going to the AFC? AFC, I think AFC, I think Chiefs and Bills are the 2 top team right now. Pittsburgh's shown certain weaknesses in their, in Tennessee too. Could be a team that comes in late. Whatever Las Vegas was going to do, they are obviously not going to have that happen anymore. And Indianapolis might be a sleeper, but again, I think Phillip Rivers, unlike New Orleans, where Indy's defense can really make up for a lot of whatever Phillip Rivers can't do. I just don't think Phillip Rivers is good enough to get them deep into the playoffs like Drew Brees is, because Drew Brees has that experience. So if I were going Final Four, I'd say Packers, Chiefs, Bills, and Saints. So
I don't know. I cannot argue with the Chiefs and Bills in the AFC at all. And I started talking about it a couple of weeks ago, how this group of Buffalo Bills is starting to remind me of the Jim Kelly era in Buffalo, because these fans are behind this guy.
Yeah.
They are absolutely
first AFC East title since 95.
Right. Exactly. But Tolly knows it. He lives there sometimes. I mean, it's just like it's when that area, and I don't care if there's any fans in the stands, when that area gets behind you as a quarterback and a team, it's a love affair. And Buffalo, I'm telling you, they got a chance to really get something done up there.
Josh Allen's grandma passed away a couple weeks ago, and after that, Bills Mafia donated $700,000 in honor of that to a children's hospital.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So look out for Buffalo, not only right now, but look with Josh Allen and what they got going on. Look for them to maybe get a good string of years coming up here right now. So yeah, in the AFC, you got Kansas City, you got Buffalo. In the NFC, I like Green Bay. I think they're in a good position right here. New Orleans, they're even resting Thomas now for the playoffs. He's not playing today. Drew Brees is back. When Drew Brees, before he broke 11 bones in his body, the guy couldn't get the ball downfield anyway. So I still think it's going to be those same struggles that we saw between like week 3 to week 10, where Drew Brees could not get the ball down the field. They had Thomas sometimes. Didn't have him other times. Couldn't get it down the field. Then Kamara can't do everything. So I don't know that New Orleans is going to be there. Once kind of surprise team that I see maybe would be the Rams. We'll see how they do to playing the Jets. They real fat spread.
Your son likes the Rams too. He likes them a lot.
They I don't know. McVay's a hell of a coach. I think they might be able to get some momentum here late, but as we talked all year, the NFC is a hell of a lot weaker than the AFC this year.
Yeah, I think the NFC is a lot more wide open, to your point. I'm not really a big believer in the Saints. I mean, let's think about their recent playoff history. Even they're less of a wagon this year than they have been in the past. And last year, disappointing playoff exit to the Vikings. 2 years ago, did they I know they didn't win. I don't know if it was against the Vikings again. Maybe they did win a game, and then they had the Rams pass interference thing in the NFC Championship. Then they had the Minnesota Miracle. So this is a team that has not really had a legacy of winning in January, and I think that they're fighting a lot of issues. The defense is good, and they've put up some really good stats. But I looked a little deeper at their schedule and some of the teams they've faced, and they're in a division with the Panthers and the Falcons, and they've played a lot of teams that have not been very good. They played Denver without a quarterback. I mean, they have not played a very, very tough schedule, and so I think the defense is still talented, especially on the defensive front. They do not allow a whole lot of rushing. I mean, the front seven's really good. DeMario Davis and all the guys they have up front rushing the passer, but I think the defensive numbers are just a little slightly inflated. I think the Rams defense, like you were saying, is a little bit more for real. But then I'm not really a believer in Jared Goff on the offensive side. No. So I do think if the Packers hold home field advantage, they're going to be a tough out. But I really like the Seahawks. I think they're going to be dangerous as a wild card. And I think the Bucks, if they could ever get their act together, have all the pieces and makings of a winning team. And I think the Cardinals aren't really a threat to win the NFC, but they could spoil anybody's season on any given Sunday. So
personally, I'd like to see them go bye-bye. It's hard to pick for or against.
It's very hard to pick them because they are a very inconsistent football team.
And I think Nick's right on Seattle, though. Seattle's just got some leaks. Last night Green Bay showed some strong defense. They've been
getting a little better.
I don't know if that was lack of offense on Carolina's part.
I think they were
getting some sacks, they were making some stops, and boy, if they can become a little bit more two-sided, Green Bay could really be very, very solid. Getting back to New Orleans, just real quick, the Drew Brees era has always been they win at home, they do phenomenal down there in the Dome, and whenever they got to go out into weather, they would lose, and it'd always be winning the division or getting into the playoffs, but they're always just like 1-out.
Are you buying into there's something between Drew Brees and Michael Thomas going on? Because they kept Michael Thomas out for a couple extra games till Drew got hurt, and then all of a sudden he's been fine this whole time. Now he's quote unquote hurt again.
Yeah. I don't know. I
think there's something with the organization there. It's felt weird. They suspended him for the punch to CJ Gardner-Johnson. So I don't know. It certainly feels like there's some smoke to that fire.
Yeah, could be. I don't know any details on it. My gut feel on New Orleans is more about, Drew Brees is time. I'm a great guy, had a great career down there in New Orleans and great with the community and just a phenomenal guy. But sometimes it gets to the end and you can't get the ball down a football field like Phillip Rivers, like a couple other guys. Sometimes I think it's time to pass on. Who that's going to be down in New Orleans, that's a whole nother show. But, I don't know. New Orleans is just in tough right now.
We do have a quick hot take from our usual host.
Yeah.
So TJ said he's headed to the mountain, but wanted to drop a quick hot take. After yesterday, Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm all in on Buffalo. Have a good show, boys.
Wow. He's been listening to the old
That's
man.
got to make Tolly smile.
It does. I mean, that team has a very special chemistry going on this year that you can see between Allen and Diggs and the whole rest of the team. And I think it's going to help.
Buffalo is just like America's team right now. I think everybody's kind of rooting behind Buffalo. All the other teams that are going to be right there come playoff time are teams that are regularly in it. But anytime a new team kind of comes to the fold and just the way Buffalo has played this season, some of the games that they've fought to win and fought back to win is interesting. I've been down on Buffalo all year. I'm so skeptical of them, and just the past few weeks really have have proven me wrong otherwise on what they can really do. And I think they can make the AFC Championship, but and will have a shot to win the Super Bowl. I think they win the Super Bowl if they get there. But can they get through the Chiefs is the only big question in the AFC Championship for them right now, at least.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's beaten the Chiefs this year. I mean, all this conversation might be for naught because I just don't know if anybody's beaten Kansas City this year. But, we talk about the AFC and we've talked about the Chiefs and we've, really stroked the Bills for the last 15 minutes. But there's a couple teams in the AFC that I think we're forgetting about. And I want to know, Nick, you can tell me your thoughts.
Hold on. Just 1 second. Just if you're going to, let's play if TJ was here.
Yeah.
Now, I tell you what, guys, I'm telling you right now, I just said the Buffalo Bills are going to be there. We're not sweet talking the Buffalo Bills. They're going to be there. They're going to get it done. You heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me.
Save
back
that.
to the show.
All righty. No, I love it. But TJ, you're last on the panel in the picks, so
it's true. He can stay off Buffalo all day.
So
don't get the fuck away from Buffalo.
So I want to ask you guys about the Steelers and the Titans. I think they're still both really good football teams. I know the Steelers haven't been playing their best football as of late, but coming down the stretch, despite the 2 injuries they've had, which I think are massive, massive injuries, and ultimately, I agree with you. I think Buffalo and Kansas City are probably the bigger threats now. But let us not forget, I mean, Steelers were 11-0. They have still an elite defense despite the injuries. They have all the weapons in the world offensively, especially in the pass game, if they can get a little bit more consistency out of Ben throwing the football. And then the Titans are just built for January because they have, Tractor Cito, and they got their defense used to be good. That's what's holding them back. So what do you guys think of their chances? I just feel like they are a little bit more deserving of some conversation as well, because I don't think it's really a 2-team race.
I think they should both move to the NFC. I mean, it's all stacked up, like you're saying, on the AFC side. The better teams are over there, and you're right. I mean, Henry and company is built for January. It's going to be interesting to see how they do today. And no, there's some chances there. It's not like the spread between these 2 elite teams we're talking about and the other teams are that far away. I thought Pittsburgh was a surprise most of the year, but they proved me wrong, and they got a great record. And they got a great defense, which is huge in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, for different reasons, but I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, and again, the team makeup is different, but I feel like the Pittsburgh 11-3 record this year, let's say they went out and go 13-3, feels an awful lot like the Packers 13-3 last year. Like, I just don't know how seriously they're going to be taken. And the Packers still made the NFC Championship that year, so I think they can win a game or two. But yeah, it surprised me to see them come out of the AFC because, like you said, I didn't think they were going to make the postseason this year. I don't think any of us thought very much of them this year. I think we thought it was going to be the Ravens and maybe the Browns would sneak in there. But the Steelers have surprised everyone, and they're gonna win that division. So let's move on to some fantasy discussion, and it is fantasy semifinals. For most people out there,
we do have a fantasy question.
Yeah, okay. Let's do the fantasy question first. Then what do we got?
Standard league need 2 running backs and a flex. He has J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, David Johnson, Juju, Cooks, and Sony Michel.
David Johnson, Juju, and Dobbins. What I would go with.
Yeah, I got to agree with that.
Cooks is coming off injury. Sony Michel, yes, no Damian Harris in the backfield. Damian Harris, is that who it is?
Yep.
In the backfield. But Sony Michel, too inconsistent. Gus Edwards, going to get you a goal line stand. Maybe they'll punch it in with him, but I don't like relying on Gus Edwards for.
Yeah, you're counting on a touchdown with Gus.
Maybe if you're going a prop bet on Gus Edwards anytime touchdown score, that's a safe bet because you can get some good odds there, but not as a fantasy option. I think you got to go with J.K. David Johnson back today. After being on the COVID list, and then Juju, safe bet on the Steelers, even if, it seems like it's more Juju's weeks now than it has been Claypool. And so, yeah.
No, Claypool has kind of faded into the background of that Steelers offense over the last couple of weeks.
A little bit.
So I have Claypool on my team, and I haven't been starting him recently. I have been starting J.K. Dobbins, though, who I think has finally started to take over some of the reins in that backfield. So I actually agree Rarely here with Nick 100%. I would go Dobbins. I would go David Johnson, and then I would go Juju. So Nick, you're in semifinals, right?
Yeah, and a tough matchup though right now. I mean, this is the big league. It's not looking good because my opponent has had solid performances. Already putting up 83 points on the week with those first 3 games. I mean, getting 27 out of Herbert, 20 out of Melvin Gordon, 16 out of Josh Jacobs, and 12 from Hunter Henry. Doesn't set me up very well. I got 21 from Darren Waller, 12 from Tyler Bass, which is good, and then 10 from Drew Lock. So I have a 38% win probability right now. Really going to need everyone to step up to the plate big time today. And it's going to be tough.
Talk.
I mean, again, I think it's really my fantasy season hinges on what happens with Alvin Kamara today. Now that Drew Brees is back in the lineup,
I think me too.
Do they use him down the stretch, and will he put up 36 points for me? I mean, I need that kind of performance.
Drew Brees coming back is huge for us, Nick.
The problem is,
it really is. I'm gonna go get my Saints jersey on, give it the good magic, and
rub my 41.
We're gonna have a go today. I might even have to place myself on an island later. They are playing the Chiefs, which is freaking scary, but yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a fun game. Do I put all my eggs in one basket and bet against everybody else and just ride Kamara and die with them? I don't know.
Hey, bet with your fantasy team. It's what you've always done in the past. I don't see any reason to switch it up now.
Maybe Taysom Hill returning to his old role will spark the team.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll get Taysom on a jet double pass, and all will be right.
Mostert or Jeff Wilson PPR.
Mostert.
Yeah. I know that Matthew Berry and some of the guys have been talking up Jeff Wilson. And I got to be honest, I haven't really watched the 49ers last couple weeks, but if Mostert's playing, that's like the only back that I would ever start. Because I picked up Jerick McKinnon earlier this year, and I got lucky. He scored once or twice on the times I did start him. But it's like if Mostert isn't the back, it's the running attack is just all messed up.
You're not getting a 76-yard run from Jeff Wilson.
I think I got 1.8 from JaMycal Hasty earlier this year, starting him in Mostert's absence. So yeah, if it ain't Mostert, don't do it.
Yeah, Mostert's been banged up, but again, back again playing. So it's Mostert's ball because Mostert's on my fantasy team. So we got to go with Mostert here.
So there's already been a couple of fantasy conundrums this week, and I already faced one with Keenan Allen. Thursday.
I'm going against him this week. It was great.
So I benched him, and it paid off. He only ended up with 2 fantasy points.
Wow.
And I had missed, though. I was working, so I didn't see where he had told fantasy owners not to bench him.
In warm-ups.
You cannot put up 2 fantasy points if you tell your fantasy owners to play you. My Lord. Luckily, I have an embarrassment of riches at receiver, so I was just decided to play it safe and bench him. But unfortunately for me, Devontae Adams only got me 7 points, so I'm in the same boat as Nick. I need Alvin Kamara to go for about
I had Waller and
150 and 2 touchdowns today.
I had Waller and Aaron Jones combined for 54.8 in our league.
Not bad.
My opponent has had 4 people play this week and is behind me by 1 point. So I'm looking good. I'm looking good so far.
All righty. Do you got any DFS plays, Big Web?
You know what? I think Henry is absolutely going to roll today at the line.
Always a good bet in December.
I got him on my fantasy team, so I hope so.
A lot of people will play him, but still, I'm looking at 200 yards there.
Yeah. No, I like that. Nick, you got any DFS plays today?
Nah, not too many. Again, with deep into this season, I don't really get too much into DFS. I'm focused all on fantasy and betting these last few weeks. So nothing major for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for fantasy football this week. Let's get into the picks. But before we do that, we got to go over the standings. I believe Big Web is the crown. You got the crown?
Him and TJ.
Shared crown with TJ. Yeah.
Shared crown with TJ. Well, why don't you put the crown on, and then you can put the hat on, and then the crown on, and then you can do
TJ took that crown to his head and decided to go to Tahoe and ski down the mountains.
Yeah, he's like, I won the week. I don't need to be on this week. I'll just go to Tahoe and hang out.
This is my crown, 5 seconds. Now, TJ usually puts it on for a half hour when he wins.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, there we go.
I'm the king. I'm telling you, I'm back. Will you watch for the rest of the year? I'm back. TJ Weber, how you doing? All right.
All right, that was that. I was the loser this week. I think what we decided was I think TJ and I are going to do double punishment next week. We talked about doing a little duet, but Tony, you said you had maybe a punishment idea. What do you got?
This is not anything bad. This is great. So we pick 3 households in the area, and you guys, real Christmas trees, how people have to dispose of Christmas trees. You guys got to go take them out of their house, go get them to the dumpster, and help these families out.
After Christmas?
After Christmas.
Okay, that's fine, because I was going to say I'm going to be out of town.
Not before Christmas. The poor kid's sitting there, hey, Mom, where's the Grinch? Here comes the Grinch Sook in the house.
There's a light on the tree that won't light on one side. I like that idea.
Miserable looking tree.
We'll have to go carry some trees, get all sappy.
Yep.
And like you said, just being good Samaritans in the city. So I'll see what TJ thinks about that.
Little give back there.
I'm in for it. We can make some good content out of it too, and embarrass ourselves. Drop the tree. I can probably rip up an ACL in the process of that.
Pet a dog or something.
Yeah. So let's get on to the picks. We have a good slate of games here today. The overall standings is Nick has now tied with me at the top. We're both 53 and 45. Big Web he's kind of getting hot on our heels here. 46, 51 and 1. And then TJ still in the cellar, 40 and 58. Big Web's kind of put some distance between himself and TJ down there. But TJ with a pretty good week last week. Cooper is even against the spread. 35 and
Cooper
35.
hasn't picked in a long time.
Oh, he hasn't picked in a while. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. So let's get on to the picks then. I got my music here.
And I'm still leading the overall CBS Sports standings.
Yeah. See, Nick,
Don't forget
as long
about
as
that.
Nick is leading the CBS Sports standings, he will always remind us to do this. So let's go to the pick'em here and see who's leading, not named Nick Yale, because Nick is not eligible for the jersey. And we got Joseph Tolley or Tooley. I guess we'll say his name right.
Yeah, you can say his name right.
Yeah. So Joseph Tooley with 109. He's right on your heels, Nick, at 109 wins. Amanda Clemens with 108.
That's my mom.
Tied with so the Tooleys are just taking everyone to task in the pick'em this year. Andrew Sherping with 108. Lulu has 108. She's 2 ahead of me.
Yours isn't updated.
Then we got Then we got Jeff Larson at 106. Laura at 106. Mark at 106.
No. Yours isn't updated for this week.
Mine isn't.
Wrong. Sherping 110, Tooley 110, Amanda Clemens 109, Lulu 109.
Oh, I'm on the wrong section there. Yeah, thank you very much. Sherping's got 110. Nick's brother Joseph has 110, Amanda 109, Hessler 108, Laura 107, Big Web 107, Jeff 106, Colby 105. So that is kind of how we're looking on the pick'em standings there.
Lulu's still in the hunt there.
She's still in the hunt. She's faded a little bit in recent weeks, but she's still, in the film room grinding, grinding for treats and grinding for the dub. So
Cooper's just eating fucking ornaments and Christmas boxes. He's done. He's left the film room.
He's like, football season's a little bit too long, don't you think, guys? Like, we can just cut out the whole December month. So let's get into the picks here, boys. I got all my. Tolly set me up here. Do you have the music running through?
He can't.
We do not have music.
What?
Yeah, sure we can.
There it is.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to turn it up a little bit.
Don't tell me I can't have music. All right, guys. I'm not TJ. So
turn it up on the mixer to your left.
Which one's that?
I don't know. One of those dials on the bottom.
5, 6, or 7.
All righty, we're gonna start off with the picks. We got No, that was Thursday. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Washington Redskins. Seahawks are minus 6.5. Yes, Washington football team. Sorry. And Nick, go ahead first.
Yeah, looking at this game, I think we're going to see a healthy dose of Chris Carson, and that Seattle offense has been strong all season. I don't think I love Washington's defense. Washington's defense, I've been betting on them all year since they beat Dallas in that first game, and it's paid off for me. I just don't think Washington's offense can keep up with Seattle's offense in this one, so I like Seattle laying the points.
Big Web.
I understand Alex Smith is out. So the Haskins is quarterback in the football squad. That's what I call him.
The football squad.
Yeah, Seattle's going to have a little bit too much for him here. Give me Seattle.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Seattle too. Tough to lay 6.5 when you have a defense, particularly the defensive line and a pass rush as good as the football team. But you're right. If Haskins starting the game, I'm staying away. I can't take the football team in this one. I got to go ahead and take Seattle. I think that they're going to cover this and perform. Russell Wilson usually finds a way, out on the East Coast. It's a long trip for them coming from Seattle, but they usually do pretty well against these NFC East teams. And I think that they can get the Washington football team by at least a touchdown today. TJ is going with the Seattle Seahawks as well. Let me make sure that the line is locked in at 6.5 because, it is at 6.5. So we'll pick it there. So clean sweep with Seattle. Basically, what that means, folks, take the football team.
Take the football team.
We will move on. Tampa Bay minus 6.5 at Atlanta. Let me check that line to make sure it's still good. Minus 6.5. Sweet. Not a whole lot of line around here. So, Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, here to me, again, I'm not buying into Tampa Bay's offense, as I mentioned earlier. I think Atlanta can do enough to stay in this game. They've typically been able to stay in these games. I think it's a game that the over looks pretty good. So I like Atlanta taking the points.
Big Whip.
Got old man Ryan versus old man Brady here. It's in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Ryan just screws you so much inside the 20. I'm going to go with Tampa here on this one. Actually, these two teams play twice in the last 3 weeks of the season, today and then the final game of the year. Today's in Atlanta, but give me the Bucs here, and I'm probably going to take the Bucs the last week of the season too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa Bay in this one. Tough for me to pick the Falcons, especially later in the year when you have teams like the Bucs who have a whole lot more to play for. I normally ride with the big dogs in the month of December because they're still playing football, whereas teams like the Falcons are playing for draft position. So I don't like laying 6.5 with both the Seahawks and the Bucs, but just give me the better football team and I'll just see what happens. I feel like at least one of those two is vulnerable for a backdoor. But like you said, I don't trust the Falcons enough to pick them. And let's not forget, I know that Tampa has slowed down a little bit over the last month or two, but defense is still really good. I think they'll give Matt Ryan some problems today. So we are split on this game. TJ is going to go ahead and take Big Web's Atlanta Falcons at plus 6.5. We move on.
You can have them.
Yeah. the NFC South champion Atlanta Falcons. The New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. I just checked. This is a pick 'em at 1.5 point. Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, I think there's some interesting line movement going on here, starting at 2.5, now down to a pick 'em. You're seeing a lot of that late money go in on New England.
Why?
Which is where I am also going. Yep. I think this is a game where Miami is and I'm picking this solely because I'm on an island. I think this is a good shot for me to take here. I like this as a pick 'em. Tua is – we're still not sold on what Tua can do. Miami's won some really good ball games. They covered last week against Kansas City on a late garbage time field goal. I thought Kansas City was still probably the better pick last week. But Bill Belichick does some interesting things, and late in the season, I'm picking the coach here. This isn't really a player pick. This is a coaching pick, and I've looked at some of these earlier in the season, and I just like New England and the spot that I'm getting them at here at a pick 'em. While you guys I might be on an island. Someone might change, though. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on to make this move.
Could not tell you.
Remember what Bill Belichick did against Justin Herbert and the Chargers? I think that's a lot of it. It's a lot of that rookie quarterback thing.
Well, I'm gonna say this: Bill Belichick's always had trouble in Southern Florida against Miami
when they were good.
Yeah, when they were good. When they were good. So I'm going to stick with the Dolphins here and take advantage of the not giving up 2.5 or whatever the hell it was before. Give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, I could not tell you why this spread is the way it is. It's typically 3 points at home. They think New England's a better football team than the Dolphins. Now, here's the common difference but there's two huge, massive differences between the Chargers and the Dolphins. If you want to make that comparison, Anthony Lynn, Brian Flores, and the Chargers at 4-9. The Dolphins are potentially going to make the playoffs here. They should make the playoffs, 8-5. You never know. Ravens might sneak in there. They have an easier schedule. But the Dolphins defense is top 3 in every major category. Points, yards, opposer passer rating. They're outstanding. They're probably the second best defense in the NFL, right behind the Pittsburgh Steelers. The fact that this is a pick, I just don't get it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins in this one. Also, Tua Tagovailoa is, while probably doesn't make as many plays as Justin Herbert, is a very efficient, safe passer. So I don't think they're going to turn him over very much today. He gets the ball out of his hands very quickly. And again, the Miami Dolphins team is much better. This is in Miami too. I know that the Patriots blew them out in Foxborough. That's the only reason I can think of as to why the spread's the way it is. But this is a way different Miami team than it was back in Week 1.
I think that the coaching difference that you pointed out is
huge.
Yeah.
Also key loss today on Miami. Devontae Parker out.
I was gonna say there was talk
leading
about
wide receiver.
Did that
probably
late? Like yesterday?
Probably this. Yeah, that happened yesterday. So that's probably why you're seeing a lot of that line movement is because Parker isn't playing today, and so they don't believe that Miami can score too many points.
That makes sense.
Their number 2 wide receiver was also questionable this week, so he's a little banged up. And here's a stat I found interesting. I heard this week. Teams are 2-9 against the spread the week after playing the Chiefs, who the Dolphins played last week,
and covered. They did cover that spread. It was never as close as that, but they forced Patty into 3 picks. I'm telling you, I just think this defense is for real. Like you talk about the problems Bill's going to get Tua. I would flip that on you and say, how's Cam scoring on the Miami defense?
Yeah.
Like that's
what's that definition?
That's fair question. Fair question.
That's kind of where it is. So Nick is on an island. TJ's going to go ahead and take the Dolphins as well. So never a bad idea when you take the coach who is the second best record against the spread in Bill Belichick. So I think he's at 60% right now. It's kind of going down this season, but never bad pick when you pick Bill Belichick. And I always say you don't get rich betting against the Patriots. So we move on to New Orleans. I'm interested to see where we go on this one. Kansas City is currently. Let me scroll.
3.5.
3 points. It's still a 3
points, a flat 3.
So a flat 3, no hook. Go ahead.
No hook. I'm sticking with the Chiefs here. I'm not going to go with the Saints and my guy Alvin Kamara. I just don't know what we're going to see out of Drew Brees coming back out of this injury, and without Michael Thomas, again, there's just too many question marks surrounding that New Orleans offense right now, and the Chiefs are going to score even against a really good New Orleans defense. The Chiefs will put up their points. We saw it last week. Even when Patty threw 3 picks, they still came down and took the lead by 2 touchdowns late in that game. So the Chiefs are going to get their points, but I don't know if New Orleans is going to be able to keep up with them, even with Drew Brees back today. So I'm going to stick with the Chiefs here. And it's going down. It's actually going in our favor too, which people are thinking that, hey, the Saints might have a shot here to win this game outright.
Big Web.
One of these football teams can get the ball down the field. The other one can't. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. I just don't think the number's big enough. You guys know I have been outspoken in my displeasure of Taysom Hill as the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. But at this point, if Drew Brees is truly playing with like 10 broken ribs at age 40, no Michael Thomas, well, what's that offense going to look like today? I mean, are you potentially better off at least with a healthy Taysom Hill to just do some weird Wildcat bullshit? Like
bring Jameis back.
Yeah, I don't know why they signed him.
Drew Brees is a very passionate, strong, mental guy.
Oh, he's
going to be
Famer.
Fighting like crazy, but he doesn't have the equipment.
Yeah.
So it's going to be. It could get ugly.
Yeah, he's got the mental fortitude, but it's like his body's failing him at this point. I don't think the pieces around. I think aside from Kamara, I really don't think the pieces around him are all that good.
Frank Clark could have a big day today.
He could. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is gonna be a clean sweep. I kind of can't believe it. But TJ's going to take the Chiefs also. It's a pretty good game. I think I saw a stat earlier in the week where this is the best combined record for two teams this late in the season. It's like third or fourth best since the Super Bowl era. So what are you chuckling about over there?
If TJ was here on both of these sweeps, he would have changed at the last pick.
He'd be like, I think I'm going to go ahead and put myself on an island. We move on to Dallas, where the San Francisco 49ers take on the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are plus 3.5. They are home dogs, and you get the hook in there. I have a feeling none of us are going to really like this game, but Nick, go ahead and tell me what you got.
So what's the spread on the Cowboys?
It's 3.5 plus 3.5 for the Dallas Cowboys against the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, home dog in this situation is a little bit scary, but I'm going to go with the Niners here. Again, this is a coaching for me. Shanahan is going to be able to move the ball against a very, very, very bad Cowboys defense. All that motion that they're going to work, Dallas can't keep up. Dallas has been in some of these games, and I took them last week when they played Baltimore, and I took whatever way I was going, I was on the wrong end of it with the Cowboys. I don't remember if I was on Baltimore and the Cowboys fucked me. One way or the other, I was wrong. Betting with the Cowboys, and the Cowboys haven't really done me too much justice all season. Either they screw me, or when I bet with them, they screw me. So I think the Cowboys like my Atlanta this year. The team that whatever side I'm on, I'm always on the wrong side of them.
Me
but
too.
I just like the 49ers today. I have Raheem Mostert on my fantasy team, so I need a big performance. So unlike betting with the Saints in the fantasy team, I will go ahead and bet with the 49ers and my fantasy team. Is George Kittle coming back today? I heard rumors of that. I don't know if
let me check.
If he is a go or not.
I hope not, because I'm facing in fantasy has.
I hope not,
I
because I have
I saw something earlier in the week that said that he may have been coming back. I didn't know if it was
still on IR, projected for 0 points.
I didn't follow up.
So he has not been taken off IR.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, I still like the Niners here.
Boys, I'm going the other way. Give me Dallas, home dog. Would you say 3.5?
3.5. Yep.
I'll take it. I'll take that, absolutely. Now, usually a team like Frisco, get everything that's happened to them this year, those guys will be down in the dumps and kind of coming in there, and hard to get them up to play on a road game like that. So that's the only thing that I'm scared of is Shanahan will keep his team up. But I don't know. I like Dallas. Dallas is on a little bit of a roll right now. It's going to be Dallas.
Yeah, I hate this game. I totally agree with what you said, Nick. Like, I feel like the Cowboys, I'm always on the wrong end. Like, whether I pick the Cowboys or I pick against them, I'm on the wrong end of Dallas this year. And I feel like I've been on the wrong end of San Francisco a lot of the time, too. But I'm going to go ahead and roll with the old 49ers today. This comes down, two backup quarterbacks playing today. It comes down to really, I think, two things for me. And it is Mike Nolan. Sorry, not Mike Nolan, but Mike McCarthy versus Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle Shanahan could potentially take him to the woodshed today. And also you have Kyle Shanahan's offense against Mike Nolan. That was my other point. Like the San Francisco 49ers run game, I wouldn't be surprised if they just go hog wild today.
Do you think Robert Saleh will actually try to coach the defense since he can't take any assistance with them?
Yeah, I don't understand what the deal is in San Francisco. There is he like I've heard that he's been did he get fired this past week?
No, I think they're just assuming he's going to get a head coaching job somewhere. So Shanahan told him you're not allowed to take anybody from this team with you.
Wow. All right. Well, okay. Yeah, I didn't hear that.
I'll beat your ass.
Yeah, well,
what kind of rule is that?
I don't know if he has much control over that, but all right. Interesting by Darth Vader, Kyle Shanahan. So we move on to the dogs.
TJ also
and the
took the
Locks.
49ers, by the way.
TJ did take the 49ers. And so, Big Web, you're on an island with Dallas there.
All right.
And old Andy Dalton, the red rifle.
I'll take the rifle. Me and the rifle on an island.
You have a
I've never
interesting
seen
relationship
someone
with the red
hate
rifle.
someone so much, but continuously bet on him every week.
Or against
That's
him.
the last
like,
3 weeks. I can watch when he's got a little open.
yeah, you would think that he'd stay away from the red rifle because, like, it's just brought him so much pain. But whether or not he's against him or for him, he always seems to be action on the red rifle.
He went back to Cincinnati and tore him up last week.
So let's go to our dogs and our locks. TJ, I'll go ahead and say his dog first. TJ's got the New York Jets, the goddamn Jets, plus 17. Let me make sure that's the number he's got there.
It is.
It's plus 17. And Nick, what do you got for your dog?
On the dog front, we are going with the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. I liked what he was able to do last week and winning the game. And I just think Philadelphia, it's a nice spot for them here. I didn't like the board this week as far as dogs go. Certainly the Jets are an option, but they got their butts kicked last week. And even with those larger spreads that they have been given, they have still been proven to not be able to cover them. I also thought about the Jaguars. Baltimore still in contention for a lot there. So I think Arizona is a good spot for the Eagles to maybe get a winner, maybe surprise some people again and get a winner. But 6 is enough for me, and I will take the Eagles.
I'm with you, Nick. I'm going with the same dog, Philadelphia Eagles. I like the points. I like what Hurts has got going. I think they got a little momentum. Arizona's a good place, like he said. Give me Philly.
Yeah, I took Philly last week against New Orleans, and here's why I couldn't do it again this week. First of all, the unpredictability of Arizona scares me. You don't know if you're going to get one of the bottom 10 team in the NFL or one of the best teams in the NFL. I think that who does the first team defense typically go against in practice?
What?
Scout team quarterback.
Scout team quarterback. Who's scout team quarterback all year for Philadelphia and for Arizona? Yeah, it's Hurts. So I think that this game is going to lean towards the under because they practiced against some athletic quarterbacks is kind of where I'm going with this. But I just got to stay away from that Philly game. And then with the Jags, Nick, I looked at that one too, and it's just not quite enough points for me. So I'm going to go ahead and take the most points I can get because I really don't like any of the dogs this week. I'm going with TJ, and I'm going to take the Jets.
Wow.
Plus 17 points
the
on the
dogs
road.
Are stacking up on the dogs.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take the New York Jets plus 17 points against the LA Rams. I'm hoping that's going to be a little bit of a low scorer there, and hopefully the Jets can score 10 points. I don't know. So let's move on to our aces of the week. Nick, what do you got for your ace of the week?
I actually need to check a line movement. Oh, wow, that went way up. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. I was looking at Tennessee. If Tennessee maybe got some favors in the line movement, but they didn't. I was also looking at Minnesota, but I'm going to lock in on Cleveland as my pick this week. I'm locking in at minus 6.5 is what I'm looking at right now on DraftKings. So just a touchdown for Baker Mayfield. So my ace, rather, not my lock. My ace, presented by Aces Wild, is going to be the Cleveland Browns. Hopefully Baker can show up and show a performance like he did against the Tennessee Titans. Would be nice.
I like that pick. Big Web, what do you got for your ace?
Well, boys, did you hear about the corruption in the police department?
I don't know where this is going, but no, I did not.
It came from above, so I'm locking up the Chiefs. Here's what's going on here.
What?
What?
The Chiefs in the police department is a problem. I'm going to lock them up. Those guys are going to jail.
The Chiefs.
Woo! Give me the Chiefs, boys and girls. We talked enough about it.
That was maybe the most interesting dad joke of the year.
We talked about this game enough.
When'd you come up with that one?
This game in New Orleans.
When'd you come up with that one?
What?
That dad joke. Have you been sitting on that all week?
Man, I worked that up sometime yesterday.
All right, go ahead. Sorry to
I
interrupt
just
you.
gave it. Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen. Chiefs. -3. Even. Thank you.
I look forward to the dad joke of the week now on Aces. On the Aces
So I don't know what that dad joke was, but I agree with Big Web. I'm going with the Chiefs -3 points. I'm going to double up on them.
The Chiefs.
I really wish we could have got a little bit more line movement and somehow got the Miami Dolphins at +0.5, so I could have taken them as dogs.
What are we taking this spread at? It's at 2.5 right now on DraftKings.
We picked it at 3 earlier, so you're getting it at 3.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll take it at 3.
Kind of boy, Sally.
We'll take it at 3. I'm going to go ahead and take KC too. I'll be just shocked if
we're doubling up there too.
Yeah, if New Orleans can cover this spread. I would be shocked if New Orleans won the game, and I don't think the spread's going to come into play. At worst, I think we're going to push, but and the line's moving in our direction. I mean, you'll love to see that. So TJ is going to roll. Get this, he's going to roll with the Baltimore Ravens -13 points. -13 points. Let me confirm that line. But he's going to take the Baltimore Ravens against the Jags -13 points. I know Nick and I were thinking about taking them as our dog. TJ freaking loves the Ravens this week, man. So he's going to lay a shitload with the Baltimore Ravens, and that does it.
Hang on,
this week. What's up?
Yeah. I was double checking the line.
Okay. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
So before we get to our sponsors and wrap up the show, we have some comments on Facebook and Twitter. Frank Roberts says,
Everybody let me know how bad of a host I am.
No. Frank Roberts says a real punishment would be to make them carol at some
Yeah,
houses. I did mention
I
this
was-
to TJ, by the way.
I was
Good
thinking
That's
that.
what crossed my head when you had mentioned the
Yeah,
trees. That's why I was like,
that
I'm not going
was
to
a
be
good
here
idea.
after
Great
today. I'm
content
going back
idea.
to Illinois. But yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, can we do that after? Would that be weird if we did that? When
That
I
might
would
make
be-
it even better.
That'd be even better. Why are these guys Christmas caroling after Christmas?
yeah, I'd be down for that. That would be funny.
So we
yeah,
got
that's
a
good one.
couple more fantasy questions.
Okay,
Jalen Hurts or Ben Godwin or McKissick, PPR.
Jalen Hurts or Ben Roethlisberger?
I
I'm
believe
assuming?
so. Yeah.
Who? I'd probably take
Hmm.
Jalen Hurts. I know that's probably an unpopular pick, but Jalen Hurts gives you so much in the run game.
Yeah.
I
gives
think he's
you-
gonna. Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts is gonna move the ball more.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nick? What do you think the over under is that he gets a touchdown rush in the game? It's got to be one of the highest in the league.
Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown score would be
Yeah,
probably a good
like-
bet. Yeah, I would go. Even though Ben Roethlisberger is going against the Bengals and they have a pretty large spread that they need to cover there. It just recently Pittsburgh has kind of shown some flaws on the offensive end, and what the injuries they have on defense suggests it's just going to be kind of a sloppy football game. So I think Jalen Hurts again. I took the Eagles today, so that's partially why I'm saying that. But then Godwin McKissick, man, Godwin has been so hit or miss this year. Like such a crowded wide receiver core. I would probably still go with
I
Godwin.
think you just have to roll with him at this point. Like,
Yeah.
when you're gonna
McKissick's
take
inconsistent.
McKissick. Like, he's no sure thing. So I think you just gotta roll with him and hope. You gotta ride it out. I think that's what you gotta do. You gotta play studs. So
I'm not sure where this one comes from, Big Web, but Sharon Allen asked if that's your IQ on your shirt.
No,
Sharon, aka Mike,
no, that's
aka
my
Mike Allen.
looks. That's my looks.
roasted. Yeah. Oh, out of 10.
Sharon
you're 15.
Allen is
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Mike made that joke last year when I was wearing my Kamara jersey. So get new jokes, Mike. Come on.
Paul Evans wants to know, do I stay with Cousins or put in Breeze?
Yeah,
Minnesota's
that's a
playing-
question there. You got Cousins going up against the
Jesus,
Bears,
they're both
right?
terrible quarterback.
I might take a flyer on Breeze, just
I
the
might
fact
too.
that he
Because
might be a little
sucks
bit.
so bad. Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, yes, you're not getting the downfield action with Breeze, but you can get that dump off to Kamara, who then runs it in for like 70-yard touchdowns. And Kamara's hungry today, so I think Breeze is
He better
probably
be
the safer
started.
bet.
I would actually do
Cous-
Breeze because
Yeah.
because you got both things. On average, just who's the better football player, Breeze or Cousins? It's Breeze, right?
Breeze.
Yeah.
Who's got the better matchup, Breeze or Cousins? I'd say Breeze.
Breeze is going to have
Breeze,
to throw
yeah.
the ball. They're going to throw the ball all
yeah, they're
day
gonna
anyway.
throw the ball. Kansas
Cousins
City
will-
defense isn't all that
The Vikings are
impressive.
going to try to run.
Yeah,
The thing is
and they go against
Chicago's
Chicago.
not going to be offense, not going to be on the field very long, and Cousins is liable to throw the ball deep a little bit, but also Big 5-2 has been looking good in recent weeks. So he's if he's getting to the quarterback, that's going to give Cousins some trouble.
So our last one is Big Web. I guess you have worse jokes than that dad joke that you tried today.
No.
I don't know if I believe that one.
I got worse ones than that. That's actually when you guys really rewind the tape, you're gonna like that joke.
Yeah, you're going to need to go back to the drawing board and really think up some
I
good
think
ones.
it's just maybe you just had an
it's the
ignorant
holiday
audience on the
season.
panel there. We just
Exactly.
did
Yeah,
good.
listen.
So, yeah,
roaring-
it's not your
people
fault that we're
roaring in their
idiots.
homes. There's
Listen,
coffee being spilled.
it's
the Christmas tree fell over.
It's the holiday season,
Well,
so I
TJ
get
and I'll
your
go pick it
your
up.
mind is already on Christmas and everything. But playoffs are coming up. The jokes are going to need to improve. We got more viewers coming. We have bigger questions. We're gonna need the new and better jokes for playoffs.
Oh, wait, let's ask TJ.
Well, we got shots coming
I
in at
actually thought it
TJ
was
now
pretty
too.
Good. I really do. I thought it was a pretty damn good joke, Dad.
We got told great show, best ever, love the new lineup.
Nice.
Sounds like
Wow.
TJ's out.
Hey, real quick,
T-
can I throw in
TJ
Big Web?
He's
Yeah,
out.
I was gonna throw it to you for your Big
Thank
Web's bet of the week.
All
And
right.
if there's not a 46.5, I'm not listening to it.
Well, don't listen. There we go. So true transparency down 1,700. Got to throw that out there. Here we go. I got a 4-way pick. Tennessee Titans bought down to 2.5. Indianapolis Colts bought down to 2.5. Kansas City Chiefs bought up to 3.5. Philadelphia Eagles bought up to 10.5. That's a pretty good parlay right there.
You bought it up to plus 3.5?
Yeah, Chiefs are getting plus 3.5. Philadelphia Eagles plus 10.5. Colts minus 2.5. Titans minus 2.5. 100 gets you 413, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo.
That's Big Webb's best bet of the week.
Wow, I actually might put some action on that. That's pretty good. Pretty good odds for that, I'd say. So let's give a shout out to our wonderful sponsors. We wouldn't be here without our wonderful sponsors. And first up, we got Kay Roberts from Remax Gold, fantastic real estate agent in your area. If you're looking to buy a home, people think sometimes you shouldn't buy a home in the winter, and summer's when the market moves. That's just simply not the case, especially in the great St. Louis area. You can get a home in the winter time, and the prices are actually about the same. So go ahead and give Kay Roberts a call. Nick, do you have a number on there for her?
314-409-4113.
There you go. Repeat that one more time.
314-409-4113.
All righty. There you go. And give Sarah Barron a call, too, at Family Finance Mortgage. I'm going to try and find a number for her as well.
Or you can call Kay and ask for Sarah.
Yeah, there you go. You could do that also. So Sarah Barron, Family Finance Mortgage, if you're looking to refinance on your mortgage, there's some good deals going around right now. I just refinanced on my mortgage myself. So there's some deals to be had. So give Sarah Barron a call, or as Big Web said, give Kay a call, and she'll put you in touch with Sarah. So we also like to give a shout out to our partners at Aces Wild. Go on out to Aces Wild, our Ace of the Week. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy Week 15. Nick, am I forgetting anything?
No, man. Go download the Book It Sports app. Track those plays.
Book It Sports app from the 50 Show, presented by Book It Sports. I saw Kiki Paso doing some advertising on the old Instagram yesterday for Book It Sports again. So yeah, you love to see it. So go ahead and enjoy Week 15, everybody, and we'll see you next one.